Hi there. I'm Janet, a French teacher, and I absolutely love my job. But lately, my life has felt more dramatic than a Moliere play. It all began when my brother, Peter, announced he was opening a French-inspired bistro. I was thrilled for him. "Peter, that's fantastic," I exclaimed when he told me. "A French bistro, oh la la. I can already taste the success." Peter just laughed, his eyes twinkling. "Thanks, Pri. I'm nervous, but I can't wait. I jump at the chance to help. Count me in for anything you need. I could even teach your staff a little French. Imagine how charming they'd be, greeting everyone with a perfect bonjour." As I rattled off menu ideas and marketing tips, I noticed my husband, Nathan, sitting in his armchair, barely listening. "Honey, isn't this exciting?" I nudged him. "Peter's living his dream." Nathan grunted, not looking up from his phone. "Yeah, great." I felt a pang of disappointment. Nathan's real estate career had been struggling lately, and his mood had darkened as a result. Still, I pressed on. "You know the area better than anyone," I suggested gently. "Maybe you could help Peter find some local suppliers." He shrugged, muttering something about being too busy. I sighed but decided not to push further. In the following weeks, I was completely absorbed in helping Peter, spending hours perfecting the menu, right down to the last accent. Peter's pronunciation was improving, and as he read the dishes aloud, coq au vin, ratatouille, tarte tatin, I clapped. "Your customers will feel like they've been transported to Paris." Peter beamed, pulling me into a hug. "I couldn't do this without you, sis." But as Peter's opening day drew closer, Nathan became increasingly withdrawn. He came home late, barely spoke during dinner, and snapped over small things. One night, I decided to confront him. "Nathan, what's going on? You've been so distant." He slammed his fork down. "Nothing's going on. I'm fine." "Is it about Peter's restaurant?" I asked softly. "You know your work is just as important." "Oh, spare me the pep talk," he scoffed. "Not everyone can be an overnight success like your precious brother." His words stung, but I held back. "Honey, Peter's worked hard to get here, just like you have. Remember that big sale you made last month? You're incredible at what you do." Nathan's expression softened, but a storm still brewed behind his eyes. Little did I know it was about to become a full-blown hurricane. 2 days before the opening, I was in the kitchen, putting the finishing touches on a congratulatory card when Nathan stormed in. "Janet, we need to talk," he said, his voice unnervingly calm. I looked up, forcing a smile. "Sure, honey, what's up?" "We're not going to Peter's restaurant opening." I blinked, sure I'd misheard him. "What? Why not?" "We have a prior engagement," he replied flatly. "A prior engagement?" I searched my memory. "Nathan, we've known about Peter's opening for months. My college buddy's in town. We're having dinner with him and his wife." Something felt off. "You never mentioned this before." "Well, I'm mentioning it now. We're not going. End of discussion." I stood, my temper rising. "No, Nathan, not end of discussion. What's really going on here?" His facade cracked. "What's going on is your brother's stupid restaurant is all you talk about. It's Peter this, Peter that. When was the last time you showed any interest in my career?" "That's not fair," I protested. "I always support you." "Support?" He laughed bitterly. "While I'm busting my ass trying to sell houses in this market, you're playing chef with your golden boy brother." I felt like I'd been slapped. "Nathan, But he wasn't finished. "You want the truth? There is no college buddy. I made it up because I can't stand watching Peter succeed while you're what?" I pressed, my voice softening. "While I'm a failure," he shouted, eyes glistening with unshed tears. Silence filled the kitchen, broken only by the ticking clock. I reached for him, but he jerked away. "You're not a failure," I said quietly. "Nathan, please, let's talk." He shook his head, his expression hardening. "I'm done talking. Here's the deal, Janet. Either you skip Peter's opening and stay with me, or—" My heart pounded. "Or what?" "Or our marriage is over." The words hung in the air like a guillotine blade. I felt dizzy, my stomach churning. "You can't be serious." "Dead serious," Nathan replied coldly. "It's time you chose, Janet, your brother or your husband." And with that, he stormed out, leaving me standing alone in the kitchen, my world suddenly too big and too empty. I sank into a chair, my mind spinning. How had things come to this? I needed to talk to someone who could offer an outside perspective, so I grabbed my phone and called my best friend from college, Olivia. Liv, can you meet me at Joe's Diner in 20 minutes? It's an emergency. Half an hour later, I was pouring my heart out to Olivia over lukewarm coffee and an untouched slice of apple pie. And now he's given me this ultimatum. I finished, wiping away a stray tear. What am I supposed to do? Olivia reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry you're going through this. But can I be brutally honest with you? I nodded, bracing myself. Nathan's behavior is toxic. He's manipulating you, trying to isolate you from your family. That's not love, Janet. That's control. Her words hit me like a ton of bricks. Deep down, I knew she was right, but hearing it said aloud made it real. But our marriage, I whispered. Olivia shook her head firmly. A healthy marriage doesn't come with ultimatums, Janet. You need to go to that opening, support your brother, and stand up for yourself. As I left the diner, Olivia's words echoed in my mind. I knew what I had to do, though the thought of confronting Nathan filled me with dread. Still, for the first time in weeks, I felt a spark of strength. Whatever happened next, I wouldn't let anyone dim my light, not even my husband. Back at home, I stood in front of the mirror, smoothing down my dress. My stomach fluttered with nerves, but I squared my shoulders. I was going to Peter's opening, come hell or high water. Nathan, I called, my voice steadier than I felt. I'm leaving for the restaurant. A silence followed, broken only by heavy footsteps. Nathan appeared in the doorway, his face a mask of fury. So that's it. You're choosing him over me. I took a deep breath. I'm choosing to support my brother on one of the biggest nights of his life. That doesn't mean I'm not choosing you too. Nathan scoffed. Save it, Janet. You've made your choice. He grabbed his keys and stormed out, slamming the door behind him. I flinched, but I steadied myself. There was no turning back now. At the restaurant, the atmosphere was electric. Peter's dream had come to life in rich shades of deep blue and warm gold. I forced a smile, determined not to let my personal drama cast a shadow over his moment. Janet, Peter called, waving me over. You made it. I hugged him tightly. Wouldn't miss it for the world, little brother. As I mingled with the guests, I noticed Peter's business partner, Ethan, acting strangely. His eyes darted around, and he kept checking his phone. Curiosity piqued, I moved a bit closer to where he stood near the kitchen. Transfer the funds tonight, I overheard him whisper harshly into his phone. Before that idiot Peter realizes what's happening. My blood ran cold. Embezzlement on opening night? I had to warn Peter, but I couldn't cause a scene. Not yet. For the rest of the evening, I kept a smile plastered on my face, laughing with guests and praising the food, though inside I was a mess of worry. My mind raced between Peter's business, Nathan's ultimatum, and the state of my marriage. Peter caught my eye from across the room, his brow furrowed in concern. He walked over and placed a hand on my arm. Hey, you okay? You seem, I don't know, distracted. I forced a bright smile. Me? I'm fine, just taking it all in. This place is amazing, Peter. I'm so proud of you. He didn't look entirely convinced, but he nodded. Thanks, sis. I couldn't have done it without you. Guilt gnawed at me. I was just about to tell him everything about Ethan when the restaurant doors suddenly burst open. Where is she? A familiar slurred voice bellowed. Where's my wife? My heart sank as Nathan stumbled in, clearly drunk, his tie askew and his eyes wild. Janet, he shouted, spotting me. There you are, you traitor. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd as I felt my face flush with humiliation. Nathan, I hissed, rushing over to him. What are you doing? You're drunk. He laughed bitterly. Oh, now you care. Didn't seem like you cared much when you abandoned me for this fancy bistro. Peter appeared at my side, his expression thunderous. That's enough, Nathan. You need to leave. Now. Nathan sneered. Or what, pretty boy? You gonna make me? Before I could blink, Peter had Nathan by the arm, steering him forcefully toward the exit. Get your hands off me, Nathan yelled, struggling against Peter. As Peter called over his shoulder, I've got this, stay here. I stood frozen, watching in mortification as he practically dragged Nathan out of the restaurant. The silence that followed was suffocating. Moments later, Ethan sidled up beside me, a look of fox concern on his face. My goodness, what a scene. Are you all right, Janet? I turned to him, my embarrassment giving way to a simmering anger. Part of me wanted to confront him about the embezzlement right then and there, but I knew I needed proof first. I'm fine, I said coolly, brushing him off. Nothing a glass of wine won't fix. I grabbed a flute of champagne from a passing waiter and caught sight of my reflection in a nearby mirror. My carefully applied makeup was smudged, my hair a little disheveled, but beneath it all, I saw something I hadn't seen in a long time. Determination. This night was far from over, and I had a feeling that Nathan's drunken display would be the least of my problems by morning. When I returned home, exhausted from the night's chaos, I found our apartment in shambles. Furniture was overturned, pictures smashed, clothes thrown everywhere. Nathan's handiwork, no doubt. That was it. I muttered under my breath, grabbing a suitcase. I'm done. As I packed, my phone rang. It was Peter. Prith, we need to talk. It's about Ethan. I told him everything I'd overheard, and Peter was stunned but grateful. You saved the restaurant, sis. Listen, I need someone I can trust. How would you feel about becoming our events coordinator? I accepted on the spot, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. In the weeks that followed, I threw myself into my new role, balancing it with my teaching. Then came news that Nathan's real estate license had been suspended for unethical practices. A twisted sense of vindication washed over me, but I pushed it aside. I had my own life to focus on now. Months passed. The restaurant thrived, and so did I. I was organizing events, teaching French, and rediscovering myself. Then, one day, Nathan showed up at the restaurant, looking more remorseful than I'd ever seen him. Janet, please, he pleaded. I've changed. Give me another chance. I looked at him, and felt nothing. No, Nathan. We're done. I've moved on, and you should too. As he walked away, I realized how far I'd come. I was surrounded by people who valued and supported me, and I finally found the strength to protect my own light. A year after that fateful opening night, I stood in the bustling restaurant surveying the charity gala I'd organized. Peter appeared at my side, grinning. You've outdone yourself, Janet. This place wouldn't be the same without you. I smiled, feeling a surge of pride. Thanks, little brother. We make a good team. As I mingled with guests, I reflected on my journey from a woman torn between toxic loyalty and self-respect to a confident, successful professional living life on her own terms. The road hadn't been easy, but standing there in the warmth of the restaurant, surrounded by good people, I knew one thing for certain. I wouldn't change a single step of the path that led me here. The story has come to an end, but now I have a question for you. If you were in Janet's shoes, would you have given Nathan a second chance after his outbursts at the restaurant opening? Or do you believe that some betrayals are too deep to forgive, even in a marriage? Share your thoughts in the comments below.